We're back with another one, guys. Jason here. We're gonna go ahead and do a pre-trip how I do it. I've been an owner-operator for 4 years. I've been having my own authority for 4 years. Come with me to do a pre-trip how I normally do it. So first things first, obviously make sure we're in neutral, brakes are pulled. We're gonna go ahead and turn on all our headlights. That's headlights on these older trucks. This is my high beams, as you can't really see, but it comes on right here. And on the under the lights right here is our hazard lights. So you make sure your hazard lights come on. And before you go out and step outside and check all your lights, you also got to turn the key on the ignition down here and make sure your ABS light comes on and off. So let's do that now. ABS light on, off. If that stays on, you've got a problem. So let's go ahead and go out. So both regular light, high beam is on, turn signal, all my cab lights, same thing here, both on. So now what you want to do, you want to get you a rag, because we're going to be checking the oil and the coolant. You also want to get you your tire checker, and you also need to get a flashlight. So we're gonna walk around. We're gonna be making sure our airlines are connected. We're gonna make sure they're not dragging along our catwalk. We're also gonna be making sure our fifth wheel is connected. We don't have a gap on there as well. You're gonna hit each tire. If it's flat, it'll make a different noise. It'll hear a hollow noise. And you would get your fast light, you would turn it on, and we're gonna go in here and we're gonna look at our wheel seals. This is very important that a lot of drivers seem to forget. Nice and dry. We're also gonna check this wheel seal. Nice and dry. All right. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna make sure these two lights are both working. Obviously, you're gonna be just generally looking around everywhere. Look at your brake chambers. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna make sure this light is properly working. Check the tires. We're gonna come down in here. We're gonna look at the wheel seal. Nice and dry. We're gonna be looking at all these airlines and making sure they're not chafing, they're not touching each other. And you're also going to be listening for air leaks. Make sure your truck or trailer doesn't have any air leaks. We're going to be looking under here. Both wheel seals are dry. Airbags don't have any leaks on them. We're also going to be making sure our ABS light on the trailer isn't on. That is a violation. This light's on. Those two lights are on. This one's on. And you also want to be making sure your license plate light comes on. Check the tire. Make sure this light's on. In here, making sure you don't hear any air leaks, no wheel seals leaking. You're also going to be looking for your rear ends, make your differentials, make sure they're not leaking any oil on the floor. You're going to be just generally looking around. Check that tire. So we're gonna come in here. You're gonna check your motor. You're gonna check your belts. Make sure they're not cracked, they're not ribbed, the tension is tight. Your power steering reservoir. You're gonna make sure it's full. Right? You're also gonna make sure you don't have too much play on your steering wheel. You're gonna be checking for leaks, listening to air leaks. You're also gonna look at this wheel seal, making sure that one's dry. And you're just scanning through. You want to make sure everything looks proper. Make sure all your clamps on your hose, all your boots are all good. Your pitman arm and your gearbox. So the same thing. We're going to be looking at wheel seals over here. Nice and dry. We're going to be checking our belts on this side. You push on them. We're going to be making sure our boots are good, our clamps are tight. We're going to be looking at all our hoses. We're going to be making sure they don't look like they're swelling or they're getting too hot. These older trucks, our coolant reservoirs, it's not plastic so you can see through them. We actually got to open the cap and look inside. We got good coolant. We're going to be checking the oil. She's full. Oil's good. You're also going to be looking at your leaf springs, your air dryer. You want to just look at everything. You don't want to see nothing swelling. You don't want to see air lines leaking. You want to make sure your shock is good. And as you're doing a walk around, as you're looking at the motor and you know, checking the oil, checking the coolant, you want to listen for air leaks. You also want to be looking under your truck, under your engine, and making sure you're not leaking any coolant, any oil, nothing, no transmission fluid, no rear end fluid. You don't want to be leaking anything at all. So just keep that in mind as you're walking through. And yeah, you guys be safe out here and make sure you're doing your pre-trips and you'll be all right. Now that we confirmed that all our lights are working, our tires are good, we've got no wheel seals leaking, our ABS light on the trailer is good, truck and trailer, we've got no ABS lights on, we've got nothing to be concerned about as of now. You go ahead and obviously you make sure you're neutral, brakes are pulled, and we're going to fire her up. What we're going to do is we're going to build air pressure. We're going to build it to about 120 psi when the governor of the air compressor cuts off. You also want to check your oil on your steer axle. I have the hubcap cover on. I've already took that off yesterday just to confirm. I checked on passenger and driver side, make sure I had oil on them. That beeping noise is my low air warning, which you must make sure that works on your truck. This should be done, these pre-trips and post-trips should be done every morning before you leave and every time you park the truck. It should take you no longer than 15 minutes to do a pretty thorough, basic pre-trip and post-trip. Okay, so our low air warning buzzer light has went off, and we've got good air pressure. So if you can't chalk your wheels, like block off your wheels to keep the truck from rolling forward and backwards, if you're bobtailing, this is you're actually gonna have to chalk your wheels. But if you're connected to a trailer and your brakes are properly adjusted, you would push in your truck, release your truck brakes. Okay, your trailer brakes are pulled out. The truck should not be moving. And just stab your brakes. Stab your brakes, and your brakes, your low air brake warning light should come on like at 70 psi. If you're driving and this light, or if you test it and this light is not working, that's a problem, because you can be going down the road 70, 75 miles an hour, and if your air buzzer light isn't working, it's literally, you're losing air if you're not paying attention. And if that light doesn't give you a warning, you can go from 70 miles an hour to your brakes fully applied at 100%. They will lock up. So this is very important. So you simply just keep stabbing the brakes. Watch my air pressure as I'm stabbing them. That light should be coming on, warning you that your brakes, you got low air pressure, and as you're constantly losing air, this brake should pop out. There you go. As it popped out, that means it put all the brakes on your truck. That means it put all the brakes on your truck. So can you imagine going down the road and all your brakes fully apply? Very important to watch that. This should take you no longer than 15 minutes to do. I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. And believe me, I've caught a lot of problems just doing a pre-trip and a pro-trip, a pre-trip and a post-trip. If you're doing a pre-trip or a post-trip midday like this, and you can't step on the brakes as you're sitting on the driver's seat and look behind you to see if your brake lights on your truck or trailer are working, you simply grab your trailer brake, you turn your key on, grab this trailer brake, pull it down. Make sure it stays down. If it doesn't stay down, then you just buy a bungee cord, and you grab it and you hook it to your seat somewhere or anywhere to keep it down. And as that's on, look, I got no lights on in the cab. Those brake lights are working properly. Look, this light isn't on, so that tells me my truck lights aren't on. No light on. One trailer brake light on and the other one on. That means my brake lights are properly working on the truck, on the trailer and on the truck. And that's gonna finish it for this pre-trip. Very basic, but it's very thorough. Go ahead and like and subscribe and follow me for more tips.